Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am doing a spontaneous live. Hello guys, I will see in a second if you are joining me. I actually recorded a video for you, but I made a mistake and the sound was not working. So let me know if you can hear me, if you are with me and if you can hear me well. And as I am doing this live stream for you, just before we go to the topic of this video, and many other topics that I have prepared for you, it looks like Trump and Melania Trump just arrived in the UK. Let me know how is the sound, guys. Oh, yeah, I see you're joining me. It's a little delay. So one moment, let's see. Before we go to Zelensky and the current events, so this is what's taking place right now. I will watch it after I finish my live stream for you, because maybe you are watching this now too. This will be an interesting thing to analyze. So we're gonna do this tomorrow. But now let's go to the topics that I have prepared for you. Tomorrow I will be analyzing the visit of President Trump and Melania Trump in the UK. You know, from my approach and from my perspective, that has a little bit different angle, and that is kind of more spiritual one. But today I want to really dive into a few things and present to you a big picture, in my opinion, that is related to Ukraine, Zelensky, Poland, and so on. So let's start with this news that I came across. And that is Zelensky somehow, and we should not be surprised, involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, as well as the attempt on President Trump's life in Butler, Pennsylvania. Let's look at the video first, and then we go to the official article. This is from Times of India a few hours ago. Zelensky's own turned against him. Ukrainian lawmaker drops bombshell. We're gonna see the picture of this man in a second. Zelensky's regime is accused of plotting Trump and Kirk assassinations. Zelensky can kill anyone to gain. Ukrainian MP reveals shocking details. This is the guy right here. Look at the staggering difference between these two, and the physicality, clearly, but also in the energy. Don't you think? It's pretty staggering. Well, Israel as well, but this is the same Khazarian mafia. I'm not going to read your comments now, so I will give you my few cents after I read this, and we finish with the news about this. Just let's look at this one more time. Let's go through this. Ukrainian lawmaker Artem Dmitruk has accused Zelensky's regime of deadly plots. And black and white t-shirt, by the way, right? Isn't it interesting? Like black and white, light and dark, etc. So, writing in TASS, and we will look into that article, Dmitruk claimed Kiev was tied to two shocking US political attacks. So let's look at exactly what he has said. We have it right here. He said this: I am saying this with full responsibility. Zelensky has a hand in the attempt on Trump's life and in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, both ideologically and practically. Pretty bold statement, isn't it? But I think it's all making sense when you connect the dots. And I will tell you how I connect the dots and how I feel about it in a moment. So now let's go to this article from TASS that was mentioned in that video. This is from today, 17th. And interesting, Trump is visiting the UK on the 17th of September. So Ukrainian lawmaker says Zelensky has a hand in attempt on Trump's life and Kirk's killing. Moscow, September 17. Vladimir Zelensky regime has a hand both in the attempted assassination of US President Donald Trump during his election campaign and in the recent killing of US political activist Charlie Kirk. Верховна Rada lawmaker Artem Dmitruk said in his opinion piece for TASS, quoting now that guy in the white t-shirt who looks like from Highlander movie. I'm saying this with full responsibility. Zelensky has a hand in the attempt on Trump's life and in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, both ideologically and practically, he said. In his words, Zelensky's regime is capable of killing anyone. Quoting him, from an ordinary citizen in Ukraine to the President of the United States. So this is the official article on TASS. That's what he said. Now, what I think about it, I tell you what I think about it. I think I watched Candace Owens yesterday. I watched she already had two live streams. I watched the very first one that she has posted. So the day before yesterday, not the one that she was paying tribute to Charlie, her very close friend, like her brother really. But the one in which she was bringing the names and giving some information about who could be involved in that, all right? I know there are some opinions circulating on internet that this is all a psyop and maybe he's still alive and they just transported him to a different location and his witness protection program, that's how you say it. Anyway, I'm putting this story aside for now because this or the other, okay? The case is someone was doing that. Someone was creating this situation. And to me, what she was saying, it's absolutely resonates with me, okay? So whatever she said, who is involved, and she was mentioning, of course, you know, Netanyahu, etc., and those billionaires in US, I think Altman was the name, if I remember correctly, who were pressuring Charlie Kirk, to take this $150 million donor offer from Israel, but he refused and he didn't want to go to Israel to be brainwashed or probably under some MK Ultra, whatever the Nazi technology, alien, reptilian Nazi technology is being used to change your opinion about things and people. And after he refused, that's what they have done. Now, this is the same group of people. So it's not either this or that. If he's mentioning the name of this person, this is all Khazarian mafia. And I'm saying this on YouTube. I don't know if this will be okay, if it goes out or not, but that's exactly the same category of people. Shouldn't be surprising at all, right? So it's pretty bold statement. And I think that the timing of it, it's really interesting. Because it's about time to finally end this project with Ukraine and removed all those parasites from the governments all across Europe and the world. And it's not just in Europe. You know what just took place in Nepal? You saw it, how they dealt with the so-called politicians, scumbags, right? How they dealt with those people. You saw it. And this is the time of awakening and cleansing that. So the punishment is coming this way or the other. Now the question is how this will be executed, because if he's saying those things, and this is a very bold statement, it really brings a new light to this situation, doesn't it? And this is during the time when the delegation from Poland made an absolute fool of themselves at the UN, presenting an evidence of that house with the roof that has been destroyed by, for sure, Russian drones. And this is a huge scandal in Poland right now. And let me tell you guys, I have a lot of topics prepared for you, a lot as far as Poland goes today. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate. Now let me take you to Zelensky again. He's gonna give an advice to the Russian people. In a second, from the interview that he has given yesterday to Sky News. I didn't watch the whole thing because I cannot bear that energy for too long. But I will play one part of this interview. Before I play this part, he is prophesying. He's prophesying over the fate of Polish people. Yes, he is. You remember when he was prophesying over the fate of United States, when he was in the Oval Office at the White House during his first visit with Trump, shortly after he was kicked out from there? You remember that, when he was prophesying how the nuclear weapon, bomb, whatever, can not just stay within Europe, it can actually reach America. And Trump said, you don't know that? You remember how he aggravated Trump? So let's read this, how he's prophesying. It didn't end well for him, that prophecy. So now he's prophesying over Polish people. Let's read this from that interview with Sky News. They will not be able to save people, Zelensky on Polish capabilities in the event of a Russian attack. Sky News has published an extensive interview with the president of Ukraine. In it, the politician, and they really put nice names around him, president, politician, right? In it, the politician referred to a possible massive attack on Poland. And he said, they will not be able to save people in the event of a massive attack. In that interview with Sky News published yesterday on September 16, Zelensky referred to Russia's recent attack on Ukraine and the incursion of drones into the airspace over Poland. The politician pointed out that air defense managed to destroy drones over Poland, but in the event of a massive attack, the situation would be more serious. He's like another Nostradamus, no? They are not at war. Therefore, it is understandable that they are not prepared for such things. But even if you compare 810 drones flew to us, so he's talking about Ukraine, so 810 drones flew to us and we destroyed over 700. And to them, that means Poland, 19 drones and destroyed 4. They didn't have missiles, they didn't have ballistic missiles, and that means they won't be able to save people in the event of a massive attack. So Zelensky is prophesying. This was in the interview. Are you with me, guys? Thank you so much. So let's go to this interview. He's gonna now give few words to the Russian people because he gave to Polish people already. He's not giving words to other people that much because, you know, he needs money. So let's go to that interview. I will mute myself, and the journalist or the prostitute asked him about what advice would you give to Russian people. So let's take a listen. Just a few minutes. I'm not gonna make you suffer too long.
Without tears. You know, they don't want to hear.
I very much hope that Prime Minister Starmer personal steps made by President Trump to stop Putin. We would like to have full understanding here
that they live in such world, that the world is like Russia, without tears.
You know, to make this happen, we need a clear position of the President Trump. Next, we should be able to buy any weapons, except the nuclear weapons, of course, from the United States. Important weapons, missiles, rockets, etc. For us, this is very important. And the third point, strong personal steps made by President Trump to stop Putin. We would like to have full understanding here on this.
Do you have a message to the Russian people?
To Russian. You know, it's difficult to have messages to people without tears. You know, they don't want to hear. They live in their fish tank. It's really, they think that there is their world. By the way, they have the name Russian world. It's true. And they think that they can count to bring back all the countries who've been in the Soviet Union, and they think that this is Russian justice, yes, to bring back all of them under their rules, and to have this joint country, Russian Empire. And of course, they think that it's right. And what is terrible that young people think the same way. They're young faces, but they are really old people. They are really old Soviet people. My father, he is 77. He is much more younger than 18 years Russian girls and boys. Yes, because they are not free. They think that they live in such world, that the world is like Russia, and this is just like something very strange. So that's why what to say to them if they don't want to hear. Yes, there is only one thing that of course after some years, I don't know when, after some years, yes, of course they will, maybe even they will not understand, but they will have to recognize that Putin destroyed their history, and they will apologize, and their children will apologize, and their grandchildren who didn't fight, they will apologize because of this. And this is a fact. And that's it.
Do your West
So just a question, are Ukrainian people free? Can you put in the live chat, are Ukrainian people free? We are watching the show like no other show. People have been selected to play those roles. The question now is, who is in charge of this entire PSYOP operation? Are there two forces still opposing each other, or there is one force above it all that is creating this very often delusion that can be easily misleading or confusing for people? And I think now more than ever, and I emphasize this again, you have to really use your intuition and your spiritual senses. It's not just your eyes, it's your intuition, it's your gut feeling. What are we witnessing, everyone? What are we witnessing here? So let me take you now to the situation in Poland. And this is all really connected. And I will tell you after that what I believe took place during the visit of Polish president at the White House. What he was probably talking about with Trump, in my opinion. We have an absolute shit show in Poland right now. And the reason for it is, as you know, I recorded a video yesterday. I presented to you a short clip from Polish delegation that went to the United Nations, showing an image, a photograph of the roof of the house that was for sure, not allegedly, that's how they presented it, destroyed by a Russian drone. It happened to be that after this investigation, they found out in Poland that was actually not a Russian drone, but it was a rocket that was fired from F-16 from Polish plane, I mean American plane, right? But like bought by Poland. F-16 was flying, trying to shoot whatever drone, and they miss it. And the rocket failed. That's the story. This is actually even posted in the articles now. I'm gonna tell you more about drones, so let's look into this. So, this is this famous roof and this famous house that made it all the way to New York City, to the United Nations building. Unofficially, of course unofficially, but we know it's true. This is from today. On September 12th, the BBN, this is Rada Bezpieczeństwa Narodowego, which is like this part of the government that is responsible for the security. I'm free flow translation here. So that part of government that is responsible for security received a note about a rocket that fell on a house in Vyriki. So it looks like that was not a Russian drone that fell on a house in Vyriki, but a missile launched by a Polish F-16 fighter. We have the articles talking about it. Of course, Polish government already trying to correct this entire situation, but this is not the end of the story, guys. The communication between Polish president and Polish prime minister is happening, you know what way? Via social media, yes. Like they learn about things, well, Polish president learns about things from X, from platform X now, not from the official people in the government, not from those who are supposed to communicate on the highest level of the government in Poland with the president of Poland. No. And why I'm saying this is because Polish president was traveling. Again, you know what I think about him now. I don't trust the guy, but there is a bigger picture that I'm seeing. And I tell you later. So he went to Germany, where he was demanding, in a nice way, reparations. That's also another story to one sidetracked the attention, and the other, I tell you what, to create attention. That's a reason for it. Second trip was to Macron, to France, to Paris. And when he was in Paris, he, after the meeting with Macron, he gave a short interview to the journalists, most of them prostitutes. And he was asked about a drone. Another drone, guys, but this is a different story. A drone that was flying over the presidential palace where he resides with his family. So one of the supposedly supposed to be one of the most protected buildings in Poland where Polish president lives. During his absence, above that building, there was a drone just flying like that. Free spirit, Icarus. Okay? And he learned about this not from the security, not from those parts of government, I don't know this in English, that are responsible for protection, but from the tweet, from the X profile. Can you believe it? From X. He learned about this from social media. So let me take you to the article, and now we're gonna see who actually is responsible for that drone flying over presidential palace. Let me take you to the article and then to President of Poland, saying few words. So guys, if you don't know, if you've never been to Warsaw, I tell you, right here is a place that we called the Belvedere. Those of you who drink vodka, you probably came across the Belvedere vodka, and you look at the bottle, you can see through the bottle. On the back of the bottle, you see this building, and that is the Belvedere. It's a beautiful place. It's actually located almost right across, not quite, but very close to the Russian embassy. If you keep on going this way down and you cross the street, you can apply for Russian visa. Just a side story here. So what we have? A drone over the Belvedere and detain foreigners. What did the Internal Security Agency determine? So this is where he lives with his wife and children. The foreign detained for releasing a drone over the president's headquarters and government buildings did not act on behalf of foreign services. Not buying this story at all. So who was it? These are the effects of the findings of the Internal Security Agency. In the case of 17-year-old Belarusian woman and a 21-year-old Ukrainian. And for sure, they were not acting on behalf of the foreign services. Are we buying this story? Everyone? Well, first they said there were two Belarusian because now the exercises are in Belarus, right? We have to laugh at this. This is like a movie of all movies, for real. But then they corrected that one is actually from Belarus. She's 17 years old, and the other dude is from Ukraine, 21-year-old. And they just had fun, right? They just decided to set their drone over the presidential palace, and for sure they saved the money, or they made some money on crypto or however, and they had this amazing drone that was like so special. No one saw it. It was just flying over. And it has nothing to do with any other government. They just were having fun. Just, maybe vlogging over the Belvedere. So that's one. And I tell you in a moment what I think about all of it. And now we have Polish president, not in Warsaw, but in Paris, in France, after his talk with another broken reptile, Macron, answering the questions. So you might have some echo now, because I'm not going to mute myself. I will translate to you what he said. This is very quick, just a few words. Let's see where I have him. Here he is. No, it's not playing.
Biorąc pod uwagę fakt, że wczoraj dowiedziałem się z mediów społecznościowych, że nad budynkiem, w którym przebywa moja rodzina, latał dron z mediów społecznościowych, to nie tylko z tego względu uznaję.
So he said, having in consideration the fact that yesterday from the social media I have learned that over the house where I'm living and my family is living was a drone flying. And I learned this from social media.
Że ta komunikacja nie jest zdrowa i powinna przejść na poważne komunikaty albo relacje pomiędzy rządem, osobami zainteresowanymi, prezydentem, Biurem Bezpieczeństwa Narodowego. Więc ja dziękuję panu redaktorowi.
So I say that the communication between him and the government is not healthy, and it's supposed to go on the serious level of communication, not through the social media. We have this. Now we go to another aspect, guys, and that will be about the visit that we had 2 days ago from China. I didn't talk about it, but now it is all making sense, actually. So 2 days ago, we had the delegation from China, Minister of Foreign Affairs, that was visiting Poland. I have to give you a picture that was created before this visit. I didn't know about it, but apparently the Silk Road Initiative, there is a road that was going from China all the way, Russia, of course, through Belarus and then through Poland. Just, I think, a day or so, or 2 days, when those exercises on the Belarusian side, Russia and Belarus, those trainings, right, military trainings, that, as I heard, United States was invited to join, I mean, as an observer, right, was invited. Take a look. And they went there. Poland, Polish-speaking government, decided to close the borders between Poland and Belarus. That border that is instrumental is, you have to keep it open for that Silk Road Initiative, for that road, this business venture with China to continue. So they have a visit from the Foreign Ministry of China coming to Poland to talk business. I'm not an expert, I'm just using common sense. And they closed the border. They closed the border. So what China did, I show you. And I show you about this business a little bit too, some informations here. Let's see. I have a lot of windows open, guys. Okay. Here you see the picture. This is the person who visited Poland, the Chinese diplomat. I don't see the name. I think Wang Yi. I think he's the Minister of Foreign Affairs, if I'm not mistaken, and his counterpart, well, has to be the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Radosław Sikorski. If you don't know, I will tell you after the Nord Stream pipeline poof, you remember? This is the guy who tweeted, because at that time X was still a Twitter, that was during the Biden reptilian era. He said, "Thank you, USA," under the picture of this explosion, right? He posted, "Thank you, USA." And then he quickly deleted it, but people took a snapshot and it's already in the archives. So he visited, they had a meeting that lasted for a couple of hours, and Beijing cancels conference with Sikorski. So after that meeting, China said, "No conference, thank you." And Chinese diplomat went back to China. Here, this is in Polish, it says that Poland closed the border with Belarus. And because of this decision, the train road in Małaszewice, so in one of those places that was called a Chinese gate to Europe. So that crucial point, because of Poland closing that border with Belarus, that crucial point that was called a gate to Europe was affected. It looks like through that gate, Chinese gate to Europe, that Poland is part of because it goes through Poland, but they close it just before the visit. Through that gate, there is about 13% of Chinese export that goes to Europe. Some people say it's 7%, not 13%. Nevertheless, of course, this amount, this percentage in comparison to what China has with Russia or other countries in that region, in Asia Pacific region, it's not that significant, but still, it's a business. And Chinese people, China is focused on business. So that's what Poland has done. That's what Poland has done just before the visit of the Chinese diplomat in Poland. How smart is this, guys? Tell me about it, huh? So let me see if I have more, and if not, I give you a few more cents from me about what I think about it. So I talk about Zelensky. Some of you are seeing, I will read the comments, but some of you are saying that Israel, you're just joining the live stream, that's why. You have to listen to what I said in the very beginning of this live stream. I'm not going to repeat. Just listen to the entire live stream again, what I said in the beginning, because it's all connected. Now, my thoughts. Tomorrow we're going to analyze the fake King Charles visit, Trump visiting fake King Charles and reptilian family. And I'm not taking my words back because that's what it is. I say this, guys, in my opinion, this is how I see it, and I approach this so-called reality that they are trying to present to us as absolutely one of the biggest psyop operations on human mind. You have to really use your discernment. You really have to use your intuition. You cannot just read the news or analyze as a military expert. You can't, because there are so many layers to it. So many layers. And when it seems like it's something, it's actually something else. Even the people are not the people that you think those are the people that you believe they are. Nawrocki, Polish president, went to Trump. They had a meeting at the White House. Clearly, there is a great rapport. They like each other, etc. So Nawrocki wants to be kind of like a Polish version of Trump. What I see is this. When he was there, he was probably confirmed, if not instructed, about the steps to take to remove this government that is currently in Poland. And why I'm saying this, we all know that none of those governments that's in Europe at this moment, maybe except Orban, With Robert Fico, I think as well, although some people don't appreciate him, I know some people don't appreciate Orban, but overall, probably except Orban, there are no leaders in Europe that you can really, really trust and take seriously, okay? So we know what Polish government, Polish-speaking government, I should emphasize, Deutschland über alles kind of approach. They are not pro-Trump, they are absolutely against, and Trump doesn't want that. So he has no one to talk to as far as Polish government goes. He can only talk to Polish president. This entire drone situation is an operation to expose the government even more and for Polish people to stand up. That's how I see it. Do I trust Nawrocki 100%? No, but I think he is playing his part and he wants to be significant. I don't know, maybe he has true love for the country. I think he has, but he also might have some complex of becoming this big hero of Poland that will forever stay in the history books. I don't know. He hates Russia, yeah, but that also can be used in a way to remove the government, right? Now, Polish government is absolutely hit the lowest low as far as credibility goes. Do you understand this entire situation with the fake drones that went all the way to UN and a guy showing the pictures? No one takes it seriously anymore. Now you had another drone flying over presidential palace. Again, this is not a coincidence. I think this is all staged, it's all created, and we have to look at this from understanding that they might even go further as far as waking up the Polish population to being so fed up with it that they have to take some action, or they have to find a way to change those people in the government, because they might even go further. And what I mean by that, they might start to call people in to the military. They might start to mobilize people, and it will look like, that's why I don't want you to really freak out with this, because that's what they want. They want people to be afraid. They want to create even more tension and fear. That's why they are posting articles all over the place, talking about how to prepare yourself in case of a war, where to hide yourself, what should be in your backpack in case when the bleep hits the fan. That's what they want. They want to inject this into your psyche and consciousness, that you live in constant uncertainty and fear. But with the action that the government is doing, making fool of themselves day after day after day, losing completely trust of the Polish population, becoming like zero credible, like below zero, like -1,000,000 credible. That's entire operation for me to change that government. And I have to say one more thing. I know you're listening to a lot of people, and with all the respect to everyone, I'm not listening at this point. I'm just using my own intuition, looking at the events. Me being here, being a Polish person, I have a different level of understanding. Why? Because not only I understand the language and a lot of things that you might not listen to the entire speech, you don't follow the threads, you don't know the dynamics, and you might actually think, oh, this is how it is, or this is the military. No. The approach from Polish population is like this at this moment, and I say majority. Even if, and hear me out, this is really coming from Polish person, even if they might hate Russia, or maybe less, dislike Russia, or not care about Russia, they are not willing to participate in this BS story. And you know what I mean by that? Of course, some people will be brainwashed. Some people, due to maybe challenging situation as far as financially, will put that uniform on because they feel like, oh, we will be paid some money and we will go. But this is not the majority of people, and I don't think this is even half of the population. I don't have the statistics and I don't trust any survey they do. I will tell you that if I can sense it overall, again, that's how I am. I will talk like, this is my channel, this is how I am. Energetically and consciousness, awareness like, I would say maybe 35%, maybe. Maybe 40% believes in the BS, but from that 40%, 40% is not going to fight anywhere. So even if they believe it, it doesn't mean they want to join it. Do you understand? So this whole picture, what it has done, it created the distrust to this government even more, for this government even more. And this, in my opinion, was one of the reasons why Nawrocki went to the US. One of the reasons, of course, not the only one. And he's playing his part. Now we probably might have another situation with Germany because he's demanding the reparations. So they might close the border with Germany as well for some time. God only knows. But it's another story because there is another government in Germany that Trump doesn't really care for. And all of those governments, except probably Italy for him, Italy and Hungary for Ban, because the only two prime ministers that I see that Trump accepts is Meloni and Orban. Prime ministers, I'm talking. Nawrocki is the president. So guys, to sum it up, who is behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk? And again, in the beginning of this live stream, I told you there are some commentators that are saying that he's still alive and this is just created to put him in the protection, I forgot the name, protection program. I don't know, I don't want to talk about it this way because this is very sensitive. What I want to say is this. Whoever, I actually feel he is dead. But let's say those who did that, this is the same group of people that's connected from Israel and from Ukraine, because this is the same bloodline. So whatever names you're gonna use, it doesn't matter. It's the same bloodline. And that's how they operate. They might call themselves different names, but they come from the same bloodline. That's all I have for you today, everyone. I wanted to do live because I didn't want to record the video again. When I was recording, I forgot to check my microphone and the sound was not on. So let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Before we end this, I have to say it because you don't really understand how much it means when I see you supporting my work. And I know that it's not easy for many of you. So anyone who donates, I am immensely grateful for your support. Really am. Donations from PayPal lately. Thank you to Fred, James, John, and Philip for your donations. I appreciate very much. To anyone who joins me, everyone who joins me on Patreon, huge thank you. Local supporters as well, if you can, if you want to. It keeps me going. And think about it. Just think about it. Look at the big picture. If none of this will happen, even this article in TASS today about Zelensky, this guy, talking about him being involved in those two assassinations, one that was successful and one that wasn't. Again, we have to question everything. I'm just saying. Even that timing of it, the drone situation, the exercises, all of this, there is a reason for it. It's not a coincidence. And I think we are witnessing and experiencing absolutely one of the biggest psyops on our minds. And we have to really process the events and information that we are bombarded with, by the way. You know how I feel when I come across those news? I have to choose which topic is worth even talking about or focusing on, because in a few hours it might be not important anymore, because something else bigger is going to override the importance and intensity of this latest breaking news. It's constantly bombarded and it can be exhausting. So, you know, I also once in a while have to take a break. So thank you so much, guys. Let me go through your comments. Yeah, Valhalla. I know, I checked. So Monica, let's see what she's referring to. Valhalla and beautiful cross. Okay. So Kash Patel was looking for the name. When he was reporting on the finding the shooter, etc. Again, I don't believe this young person did it. I think actually if he was shot, I think he was shot from a completely different angle and from completely different side and different person. That's how I feel. But this Valhalla, when he was talking about saying goodbye to Charlie, he said, "And I see you in Valhalla." Thank you, John, for the super sticker. So that place, actually, let's look it up. This is in New Zealand, by the way. Let me close this. I show you what it's referring to. He said, "And I meet you in Valhalla." I'm not gonna play it. I don't have this ready, but apparently there is a place, guys, and it's in New Zealand. So let me see. It's a resort. One moment. Very spontaneous life. Okay. This is interesting, actually. This is the first time I see this, but we're gonna look it up. Danish Society Valhalla. No, let's go here. I will show you the place. He mentioned a place. Am I sharing this? No, I'm not. So let me share it so you can see it. He mentioned a place that's called Valhalla, and I think some of interpretations is that this is like a place where the warriors go after they die, but somehow, let me find it. Oh my goodness, I have so many open. Okay, somehow there is actually a physical place on this planet that is called Valhalla, and this is in New Zealand. This says a Danish society. Okay, Danish society. It's a resort. Let's see. Maybe let's just go to images. Let me show you. This place is in New Zealand. This is the name right here. You see this? Valhalla. It's like a very beautiful resort. And why this is important? Well, so he said, Kash Patel said, "Rest in peace." I think that's what he said. We got the watch or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. I meet you, I think I meet you or I see you in Valhalla. So some people say that what he was mentioning is the place where the warriors go after they die. But then they found out that there is actually a physical place in New Zealand called Valhalla. And why they connected the dots is because that young man who is allegedly the shooter, right? Like they prove it, like he's the one who killed him. And I'm not buying this story, actually. When they had a picture of him, I don't know where this picture was taken, he was standing next to the computer, and on the screen, the saving screen, or on the screen, was an image of this exact place in New Zealand that is called Valhalla. So you see, nothing is, it's interesting because you can ask yourself, why Kash Patel says, "I meet you or I see you," I'm paraphrasing, in Valhalla. And then there is this guy who allegedly killed Charlie Kirk, who is standing next to the computer. And on the screen of this computer, you can see then an image of this exact place. Actually, you see the map, like the map of the coast, New Zealand coast and the islands. And then you look at it, and this is the place that is called Valhalla. What are they doing, huh? What are they doing? So that's it. I have to question everything. A lot of governments will be not existing. In our lifetime, we're gonna see, as long as we live, and I think we're gonna have long lives, guys, because they shorten our life span for a long time with all those plastics, toxins, stress. They bombarded us with low frequency energies. Just think about it. My Sunday video, if you haven't watched it, watch it. Think about it. We were recharging our bodies and our energy and our spirit with energy, with access to everything. Clothing, food, the air, water, the waves, right? The electricity came, things changed. So the free energy, that's another thing. Yeah, but we're gonna witness the end of many, many governments, the end of some countries. The borders will be moving a lot. And nothing will be the same anymore. So that's all I have for you today, everyone. Strengthen your spirit. Don't freak out. Don't freak out when you hear this news or that news. Just take a step back, deep breath, and if you really want to know the truth, first listen to your intuition, your own instinct. Don't listen, in my opinion, don't listen to anyone. No one. Not me, not anyone. Just give yourself a moment and ask yourself and process it. And sometimes it takes time. And then when you are at peace with that, God is revealing you the truth. And you will see, and God will show you the right article, the right video, the right person that will resonate with you or it will not resonate with you. I think now we can know pretty quickly what is BS, what is not BS. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Later on, I will be checking more with Candace Owen because Tucker Carlson as well did the video about Charlie Kirk being pressured from Israel. And I said it in the beginning of the live stream, I'm not gonna repeat it. But again, Ukraine and Israel doesn't matter, it's the bloodline. And also I will be watching Trump visiting fake King Charles. So thank you guys. I didn't read your comments. I'm gonna read it later on. Thank you so much for watching. I gotta go. If you're subscribed, thank you so much. If you're not and you appreciate the content, make sure to subscribe. And I will put all the links now after the live is posted, excuse me, down below in the description box. And I see you in another video. Thank you to all of you for your support. I really, really appreciate you guys. Lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. Bye, everyone.